first phase of success. So you're laying the foundation for what we're going to see a result of maybe 5 years from now. Okay? So that may be like, okay, why should I work now? For which I'm not going to enjoy any fruits. Trust me, it will really help. When you come back to this campus, where you see the transformed student population, it's a rush of joy. 2015, I was visiting India, and that was 15 years after I graduated from this campus. When we were on campus, when I was on campus, I was a very active student. Not in the classroom. I was not a good student in the classroom. I didn't care to do architecture, so I was never really paying attention to what was going on. I just knew how to pass, so I got through. But I was very active outside the classroom. Any student activities, any student groups, I was my class CR. There's a National Association of Students of Architecture. My best friend was our college's representative here, so I was closely helping him. Anything that had to do with the larger college, I was part of it. So I was pretty active, and so I was also connecting socially with my seniors and juniors and everything. 15 years after I left the college, and I didn't keep in touch with most of my juniors, maybe 1 or 2 people. I came back, and this was 15 years after I graduated. People recognized my name. My juniors recognized my name. This 15 years later. I was shocked. I didn't expect it at all. There were like 2 faculty members that were still teaching at the time that taught me. They're still here. I walked in, and they remembered me, and they remembered my friend's name. And I was like, why do you remember me? What does it mean to you? What does my name mean to you? They said, I don't know. They keep talking about you, so we know your name. It makes a difference, and it feels really, really good when you do that, when you see that happen. So the foundations that you lay today will mean a lot to your juniors for years to come. So think about it that way. Take it seriously. Think about building an institution. Okay, that's what we're on. It's a long journey. So with that, let's start the video. Anybody who wants to share anything, any questions, any thoughts? Nothing? Okay.
So today's session is the 14th one for the foundation level, and session is basically covered by our student innovators and entrepreneurs who are selected in top 10 list of NIC 2021. So these innovators have successfully worked upon their ideas and finally created their own innovations. So let me introduce you first to these innovators, and we can see through them their journey one by one. So first I would like to introduce Nandu Surendran. He is currently final year BSc Life Science student at IGNOU. His startup name is Aegis Life Sciences and Research Private Limited. He is incubated at IIM Kozhikode as a life business incubator. His innovation name is OncoSense, which targets MRI contrast media for early diagnosis of carcinomas which is used to treat the cancer. So now Nandu, over to you. You can proceed with your session.
Thank you, sir. So good afternoon, everyone. So my journal startup began in 2017 in a couple of fields. So I was then a BDS student. So that time, I had a chance to see my own eyes sufferings of cancer patients. So most of these cancer patients was in their late stages, like in stage 3B or stage 4. Probably almost all the cancers at stage 4 are untreated. So they were just on painkillers and taking their time, so to speak. So I identified that the problem was the limitation of early diagnosis tools that is available in developing countries, not just in India, all the developing countries. So then I started for my final year project. I had an opportunity to run the radiology department. So my project name was early detection tools for carcinoma. So that time I explored all the available solutions, and I also learned through some literature related to scientific literature. And I came to know that presently there are very limited early diagnostic tools, and most of these diagnostic tools are in developed countries like US, Europe, and these kind of areas. So I just wanted to know the possibility of having some of those diagnostic solutions which can be used in for developing countries, including South Asian countries, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and also African countries. So that's how I initially got an idea of an early cancer diagnosis tool. Then I did some thorough research. So I spent about 2 years researching on what all things is possible in a limited environment like in India. And I came to know that currently because our healthcare infrastructure is improving, so we have access to these MRIs and electric imaging solution. That's how I came to a conclusion that my innovation will be focusing on already existing infrastructure. So that's how I came to be an entrepreneur. At that time, I was just an idea. So my main product was a compass solution that can be used by almost all diagnostic clinics as for health who has an MRI. So you just have to inject it before taking an MRI, and if you take the MRI afterwards, the portion which is affected by cancer or the areas which where the tumors are present will be translucent in the MRI. So the journey was easy. So today I did not experience of any because I know. So I was a very junior student at that time, so I didn't have any idea. But soon after I started the company, I applied for a business incubation in IEM because IEM is combination there is considered as a pinnacle of business management. Right? So I applied there and I openly said that I don't have any business experience. All I have is some idea and a vision to go forward with. And I think I need help. I need help with all these kind of things. So yeah, they took us, and the first funding came from Bangalore and Mathematical Inter. So that was in 2018, in late 2018. So then a couple of months followed. So then the next one was from cash acquisition, which is actually a compensation grant. That's actually 7 lakh one. And then we also got membership as well as funding from IIT Delhi. So they have this catalyst program. So where they shortlist these startups which are into this kind of early prototyping stage and help them make finally prototype. So we got shortlisted to that program and they also funded 1.5 lakhs and they also helped us in prototyping our idea. Then other achievements, so we were selected for the prestigious Expo of Medicinal event. That's actually a pan-European event where this kind of European biomedical companies like the Novartis and like kind of European and multinational companies will come. So we were shortlisted there and we presented the idea. We also had a chance to be as a delegate in the Innovators second edition of Innovators Knowledge Week. That was happened in Lyon. So I have an image of that. So this is me on this blue place. This is Nitin Narayan. So he's currently in the Office of Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. Also, this when I was in Expo Medicinal, I was happened in Brazil, Sao Paulo. So also like I am finalist on the National University Contest conducted by Ministry of Education's Innovation Council and AICT. So we also at early times I also has been shortlisted for a hackathon conducted by BIRAC and Government of India. So my idea was shortlisted as number one, and this happened on 2018 side. So for all these marketing I have to say that even if the journey is not easy, it's very challenging as well as thrilling. So you will get chance to meet with people who you never thought you will be meeting. I never thought I would be sharing this diets with CEO of Dassault Aviation. So when I was in Defense Knowledge Summit, so there were these people from Dassault Aviation, multiple reference companies, Johnson and Johnson, Novartis, Pfizer. These kind of multinational companies were there, and I also were there. So I was sharing stage with them. So these kind of things, you really get you are into this entrepreneurship or a technology business entrepreneurship. And when mentioning about the help you can get, so Ministry of Education, Innovation says that ICT will help you from the beginning. So if you have an idea, you just have to apply for multiple programs offered by the organization, and they will guide you from the beginning of idea. So they will help you in preparing business plan. So we also got some help, in this national innovation contest. They also will help you in your IP generation as well as management. So the main thing as an innovator, you have to have some IPs. The patent is the most important thing. And you can also have other IPs like trademark that will be good for your business management. And then, they can also assist you to convert the idea into as I said, this NIC or National Investment Fund start with idea. So there is an idea stage, there's a POC, and then there is the funding stage. So these people can guide you from basically from your idea, the prototyping, to make it into a final product. So because these guys are very well connected to all these the startup ecosystem, and they will guide you well, and they will connect you with the best people, best members available, and you can benefit from that in a very big way. And also the final stages will be guided on how to prepare a pitch deck, what you do, and how to pitch your idea to do the fundraising. These kind of things all they will give you. So they are go-to people. They are your go-to people when it comes to an idea in the product stage. So they also supporting getting incubated. So support you in getting incubated. Also they have their own funding schemes. So like NIC, the final stage in the you are shortlisted to pitch for funding. So they also offer funding for your startup. So these are things that the ecosystem providers like the IIT will provide. So from my experience, the journey won't be easy. So there will be multiple hurdles. So when I started, I faced like I didn't have any technical expertise as well as business expertise. My solution includes conjugation of multiple fields: nanotechnology, life sciences, material sciences, biomedical innovation. So all this it needs a big thing. So when I started, I just had an idea, and I just have some rough way of the plans to make the idea be prototype. But after that, in this kind of organizations, this kind of ecosystem enablers help me to make a prototype. So we currently, as a patent published, we are also has 2 trademarks in the name of Things. And also, as I said, we start small fundings. So we hope to have a continuous support from MOE's Innovation Cell as AICT in our startup journey. So even if it's not easy, this kind of ecosystem enablers are there. If you were to a startup thing before 2010 or 2012, it might be very hard for you. But now, after Startup India programs, after all these kind of national education programs, you have this opportunity to convert your idea into a product, and the product into a commercially successful business. So, from my experience, if you want something, the entire startup ecosystem will be there with you, support you, nurture you, help you to improve yourself. So that's what I have to say. So I don't intend to make this session a very long session, because I am still a student. I am still learning the basics of entrepreneurship. So even if our startup is 4 years old, they are nowhere near commercialization or commercially. We are not a commercially successful company yet. So that's what I have to say. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
That's the first one.
Did you understand the innovation there?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody wants to quickly explain what that is? Briefly. I know that details, technical details are difficult to talk about because it's not a field that we're familiar with. Anybody from pharmacy here? Okay, not yet. Did you catch what you're doing?
Yeah, like, took the problem of the cancer issues within his friends, his college, and he was also checking out into medical infrastructure, and he used that issue and medical infrastructure together, and he innovated a solution that made MRI scan. So the MRI scans catch cancer cells.
Tumors.
Yes. He created a solution of, he created like a solution which is to be injected before taking an MRI scan so that the cancer tumor can be visible in MRI scan as a, it's transparent.
Right.
So by that he created an.
So especially in brain tumors,
Yes.
this is what I understood, and I didn't catch everything. But in brain tumors, our brains have what they call blood-brain barrier. Right? It protects the brain from anything that is not supposed to be there. So some of the drugs that need to go in there for us for medical treatment also get blocked. So he figured out a way to get a peptide which needs to be injected into the brain to catch tumors. He figured out a way and did that for MRSs can catch the tumors. How they catch the tumors is they send a solution into our body, wherever the tumors may be, and the tumor's color will be different on an MRI. So brain, because of the barrier, it is protected from these peptides and we figure out a way to cross that barrier. Now, that's the innovation. At the end, he is talking about how it's not commercially viable yet, it's not profitable yet, I'm still working on it. And he also mentions there's a very active ecosystem in India now. You know, you should connect with that and all that. So I am part of that ecosystem as a manager in this incubation center. I am what you would call last mile connectivity. I am your direct connect, right? Above me or beyond me, there is so much else that is happening. Through me, you get to see something. But there's so much that you can discover by yourself. And each of you can be that last mile connector for the campus. So I want you to just get your hands dirty, experiment, dig around what is happening in the startup ecosystem in India, because there is so much noise all over the country about entrepreneurship and innovation. And there are lots of resources. Not everybody know all of these resources. So first come, first serve principle works in your favor. Right? Finders keepers. You first find it and then you get it first, because nobody else knows about it. There are so many resources out there. If you are a student and you are digging around for innovation and you find something interesting and you're pursuing it, there are grants out there that are available. Not many are applying for it because they don't know them. For example, I don't think any of you applied for GVR awards. Coming Sunday, March 3rd, we have a celebration or an event where 6 finalists are presenting. You know what the cash prize is? 50,000 rupees for first prize. They walk away with 50,000 rupees cash. Second prize is 30,000. Third prize is 15,000. This is a program that AHA ran. The announcement went out August. I put it on social media. We had something like 17 papers from across the state. From AU, I think we had like 4. So 6 finalists were picked, and now each of these finalists will present on the 3rd of March at GMS Center Hall. So there are programs out there that have substantial resources that are being given out. And everybody has the same complaints, like why are students not interested? I don't know how to reach you. I put it on Instagram, which I thought would be the most efficient way to reach the students, but even that is not sticking. I I mean, it depends on what you look at, right? On your social media, based on what you're looking at, that's what pops up. If all you're looking at is some political news, that's all comes through your social media. So if you're looking for startup stuff, then all this might show up. So we advertised it, we talked about it, every forum we had, but very few takers from you. We'll see who will win it, but they'll run this program every year. Whether it will happen through AHUB or not, I don't know. This year it will. So, anyway, after this is done, I want to show you another video. Let's finish this. So, any thoughts on this one? You can't sit silently, quietly, and expect this to be interesting. Nothing to share, no questions, no thoughts. Right, it is foreign knowledge and it's not something you're familiar with. But don't tell me that you caught that after he and I spoke. You got that from the video, right? Okay, good. I'm like, oh, this is what this is about. I didn't catch that. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Thank you, Nandu Session. For your session, I think that was a wonderful innovation. So I hope with your innovation, our doctors will get an ease to treat the patients suffering from cancer in future. Thank you for your time. So secondly, now I would like to invite Sahil Uttikar. His startup name is Electron. Innovation title is Cost-Effective Revival of Scale Scooter, which converts conventional vehicles to electrical vehicles in a sustainable manner. So over to you, Sahil.
Friends, hi the audience, hi the lovely audience, and thank you to MHRD Innovation Cell for conducting this live session. So, our title is Cost Revival of Scrap Scooter. Team is Mr. Piyush Sharma and along with me Sahil, and my mentor is Dr. Samsgiri. So, Electron, we are just simple people. We want to give something back to our community.
If you want me to pause in the middle and you want to share something, ask a question or have a discussion about something, please say pause. Okay? You don't have to quietly sit and silently watch everything. Want to pause?
So we came up with a phenomena of retrofit to use in the vehicles, keeping a mission statement in mind that to retrofit a conventional vehicle to electric vehicle in a sustainable manner. With three objectives: to being a leading retrofit provider in a scooter segment, be a delight customer through product, and generating repeat customers and lifelong relationships. So basically, our product is what we do is we convert the scooter to electric scooter. So as you can see the after image, this image is found when your vehicle is deregistered after 15 years. Also, the solution can be adopted by the people who face high maintenance problems or the high fuel cost. So what we do is we build a module which consists of electrical and mechanical parts to it. And after this phenomenon, the life of the vehicle is increased. So we added on features of the converted scooter will be given from low, medium and high mode. Also it has a forward and reverse mode. So like as a car which reverses, the scooter can also be in reverse mode. We also have given a battery stress indicator which indicates your battery percentage and voltage. Also we have an innovation, decentralized use of ultracapacitor. So our use of ultracapacitor in the scooter is your auxiliaries like headlight, tail lamp or your horn gets charged from the ultracapacitor, not from the battery. So the minimum voltage is given from the ultracapacitor. Also when you start an electric scooter, the starting torque is high. So that can be taken from the ultracapacitor, by which the advantage of battery is that it enhances the life cycle. So the journey from prototype to underground began in August 2019 when I was doing research under the guidance of my professor Dr. P.V. Karandikar. The research was on the retrofitting of auto rickshaw in the retrofitting phenomena. So I published the research paper in that part in IEEE and reputed journals. So in August, as my professor told me, we'll go and build one prototype. So we'll get an hands-on experience about your idea, about your theoretical knowledge to test on a real prototype. So we founded an old scooter in Bajaj Street. So it was in bad condition. So only the body was in good condition. So as I mentioned, I utilized the retrofitting phenomena on that scooter, and that prototype was ready by end of August. So that when the vehicle was brought to our college at AIT, so it created a boom for the electric vehicles because it was the start for the electric vehicles, and many of the students love to ride their scooter in our campus. As in October, we started testing our products. We tested the innovation part, and then we started participating in many competitions. So after that, in April, by Honorable Minister Sitaraman was announced that there will be a scrappage policy for the scooters, the deregistration for the deregistered scooters. So we there came up with the solution of our retrofitting and stick to it. So then we went through the ISM HRD shortlisting and clearing stages. So it was in July 2020 when our professor Geeta Patil told me that you should give a try for this ISM HRD, and I think that was our first time participating in ISM HRD. Our 14 our shortlisting finalists. So each and every stages of the ISMHRD was challenging for us because each and every stage has a different input, like technical part or non-technical part. So all the financial statements or any non-technical parts were very new to me as from an engineering background. So in this period, my mentor, Dr. Sansgiri, really helped me out. That we used to brainstorm with these parts, and because it was a pandemic, so we had a video calls, we had phone calls regarding this, and really I was very stuck with this non-technical part. So I will also thank to ISMHRD because they organized the boot camps and the talks that which really helped me to go through this. And in March 20, we were announced as a finalist of ISMHRD. And till now, we have converted a 5 prototype and they are sold to the customers. So in this journey, my mentor taught me these two things. You must be patient because this journey was from August 2019 to 2021 as of for now. So patience and be persistent. So if you are not patient, and then your things or the future things won't be happen, won't be possible. And being a persistent, not giving up an attitude will really help you to achieve your success. And as you being an entrepreneur, your goal should be clear that what you want to achieve and what you want to deliver. You should have a positive approach towards your product. You must be confident, and you must, as a leader, you must have the vision and your mission in your head. So till now, our achievements have been participated to many competitions for KPIT Sparkle 2020, where we competed more than 3,000 prototypes to reach to its final. Also, in the Chhatra Vishwakarma, we were Southwest finalists, and we were runner-up for the Rajkot region for the Best Innovation Trophy in Army. Then we were also finalists for IPA competition which was in the university, and also we were the winners of AIT Tech Fest. We have two research papers on retrofitting as well as one journal published on it. So in this journey, we faced many challenges or problems like while making a prototype. We were good with the mechanical part, another electrical part. It was really new to us. So that was a very challenging part, but we managed it out. We sort of like how to do those things. And you told development, yes, if you want to be in a market or in a competition, you should develop your product. You can't sit with your only one idea or one feature. You have to add on feature to be competitive. Market survey is the best thing, or is the initial is the best requirement, or is the initial stage that you want to go. You want to like into research. Like is a product is really a good solution for the consumer, or like is your product is needed by the consumer. The market survey need at least more than 104 surveys, and after being building 5 prototypes, we gave to the customers, and we till now we are getting a good feedback right now. Also the competing stages, as I mentioned that I was parts of many of the competition. So each and every competition we got better and better in presentation or in non-technical skills as well as technical skills. So as a TRL level, my journey was from TRL 1. So till now it is on TRL 9. So like our system is completely ready to adopt by consumers. And a pitch deck. If you have a great idea or a great product, if you can't deliver well to the investors or any investors, so it won't be uh, easily acceptable to this. Because pitch deck is the only thing that can attract investor towards your prototype. Our future plans are like often receiving from some ASCP or any investor or any government schemes. We would go to for an approval for ARI or ICAT. We will try to increase our market from to all over India and to make a brand renown. Also, we are trying to go for 3-wheeler and 4-wheelers. We also plan to retrofit LCV, the Tata S and Ashok, and manufacturing our own kits. Till now, as of this journey, we had a support system from our mentors, AIT ESL, which is just completed only 1 year, but the support they have given us is incredible, and our alumni. So till now, two of our alumni, Mr. Ravi Kumar and Mr. Balakude, are our seed investors and are helping us to reach our goal. And I also thank to my friends and families who supported me to this journey. And recently our college created an AIT lab for us to start a venture. The message, being an entrepreneur, is that you are a problem solver to the community. You give a solution to the people. You make their life easier with your product. You are contributing to environment. You help environment, and also you give employment to many people. Also, as an interview, your connection also is increases. So till now, I have talked to at least 8 to 10 CEOs and 3 to 5 incubation cells. So like your connection also is increases. And remember one thing, opportunity doesn't knock, build that door. And I really like nobody came to me and said that hey go and start building a prototype. I really worked hard. I went to my professor. I really like for 2 months I was going 20 kilometers far to that workspace to build my prototype. And as an entrepreneur, I believe that chasing the vision is important, not the money, because money will follow up when you reach your milestone, when you reach your vision. So I will thank to ISMHRD for allowing me to share my thoughts, and thank you for making me a panelist. Thank you, sir.
Something most of you can relate to, right? Anybody tried it? None of you tried it? We have a lot of engineering students here, right? CSC is all about apps and websites and coding. Huh? You don't want to get your hands dirty at all? Nobody else from, nobody here from other branches? Everybody, all engineering students are from CSC? Okay, then that should be up your alley, right? Oh, first years, okay. Well, it's good that you're here. It's a good step. There were a couple of students. This was, I think I joined here in May last year. So June, July, there were a couple of students who showed up in our office. Right. These guys, they were desperate about doing something very similar to what these guys did, the EV repurposing. And they were working with Ravi already by that time. Ravi was the CEO. Ravi gave them 2 of his old bicycles. He said, refit them with electric motors. They did that. Ravi paid out of pocket, and they spent about 7,000 or 8,000 per bike, and they fitted it with the electric motor. Ravi was pretty impressed, and they said, okay, do next thing. What do you want to do next? I said, oh, we are really interested in building a motorbike. So they got all the parts, and they said, we already did this. We already have a working prototype. And I was like, oh, really? Then bring it. I was just new here. Bring it to campus. So they figured out how to bring it to campus. We charged it, and they rode it here. They had to ride it in the middle of the night because there's no license for that. There's no registration. It's not a legal vehicle. Right? It's not a legal vehicle, so you can't just drive it on the road. So they had to do it in the middle of the night. And they brought it and parked it behind here. And they, ran around campus trying to get some kind of support to do the next thing, whatever the next thing might be. They just could not find a faculty that would work with them. It's an unfortunate situation. They were also done. They were done with their degree. So they were moving on. One of them got a job. The other guy was trying to pursue masters in engineering. So they were also not together to the next steps. So they were taking their own paths. And all that was happening, and they said, okay, they didn't know what to do with that bike that they did, so they left it here. It was parked behind in the back parking lot for a long time, until like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, some of you probably met Junaid. He is one of our trainers at the Skill Development Center. You know where the Skill Development Center is, or if there is one? Next to examination center, that everybody will know. Examination center. You know where the Skill Development Center is, right? You guys probably don't know because it's part of the engineering campus. We have 14 labs there and a whole manufacturing line, all set up with funds from Siemens about, I don't know, several years ago, maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago. Now we are building 2 more labs in that complex. One is an IoT lab, we're spending about 1.2 crores, and another one is C4I4 lab, that is about 4 crores. So we're setting it up, and these will be open for all of you, students and faculty here, who might want to pursue something more. So now Junaid is actually repurposing that electric vehicle that we had here. There is an EV assembly shed that you can work in if you guys are interested. So you need to explore, open those doors, and ask, what can you do? How can you get involved? Okay? Anybody ever want, you guys are mechanical, you probably dreamt of doing something like this. I want to do something like this. All of your first years? All 3 of you? Okay. If there is opportunity on campus now, connect to Junaid and see if you can pursue something if you are interested. Any questions, thoughts? You know, the common theme that's repeating now is they're competing in any hackathon that comes their way, right? They're meeting with people, trying to understand what is happening, how they can do what they want to do. They have a goal, they want to pursue it, and they're just digging around, figuring out where they can find the resources. They're applying for grants, they're getting money and pursuing it. How many of you are familiar with TRLs? The big long table that you showed, technology readiness levels. Have you heard of it before? TRL? Okay. TRL is something that you want to be familiar with, either as an engineer or as an entrepreneur. When you are pursuing something, let's say a product like an EV, you first start with an idea, and then you work towards a POC, proof of concept, which is a technically viable basic prototype. And then you think about user experience and try to build in a pleasant user experience and build another prototype. You know, you keep testing and building it, refining, building it. You will have a viable prototype that is good in context. And then you try to get it to market. There is more feedback coming, and then you keep building it, you know, refining it. So all the transitions you have, there are 9 levels of technology readiness. You keep improving on the technology. This is how the intellectual property, IP, the patents thing works. At certain level, you can get patent. You can get a patent at TRL 1. TRL 2, TRL 3 is still a concept. When you look at people publishing, like faculty publish a lot of papers, right? Those are at the most TRL 3 level. What the Ministry of Education is pushing for through these innovation centers, incubation centers and IICs and all that is, let's not stop at TRL 3. TRL 3 is good enough for faculty for their promotions and whatever they need to do, because publications is what they're required to do. They're not required to file patents, they're not required to come up with inventions and go into market and sell them and be innovators and entrepreneurs. They're not required to do that. It's great if they can do that and if they want to do it. But they're not required to, because they have other responsibilities on their head, like teaching, right? It's a big, huge responsibility. So there's limited time. They're only required to do till TRL 3. But our nation is not going to be served well if nobody pursues beyond TRL 3. Right? When you graduate, you want to buy an electric scooter, right? Somebody has to invent it first and build it for you all to buy it. So we need to get people to work beyond TRL 3. And you are better placed than anybody else, than any faculty, I would say, to pursue that. So think about it in those terms. How can I push it next level, TRL? Okay? Okay, next. Shall we go to the next one? Any thoughts, any ideas? No? Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You have to leave too? Video recorded, can you scroll down? Can I scroll down? Oh, you want me to get out and see it? This is an older video, I think. It's not as old.
You were saying till June or July 2021.
Oh, yeah. So this was in 2021. Yeah, thank you.
Also, can I ask, like, according to your idea, why would anybody want to spend that amount of money on an already broke motorcycle? For example, if the suspension and say some other mechanical part, like handlebar and suspension is out, I'd rather spend all the money on rather than spending on that bike that might fault out some other day on some other part. I'd rather buy a better second-hand bike at least.
Good point. Any thoughts?
The safe car.
Very good point. Anybody wants to chime in?
Like, my word transformer is
Yeah.
Emotional value is one thing, sir, but Indians are very good at emotional value. But if you want to go global, it won't be good.
I agree with you. These guys, when they built it, they spent 30,000 out of their pocket. And you know, I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'm not going to buy it. Even if it is just 30,000, I'm not going to buy it. because I don't know how far this is going to go, and nobody's going to give me a registration for it. You know, the motor vehicles, the DMV is not going to give me a registration. So how do I do this? What can you do for me? Then I found out there's anything that goes below 25 miles maximum speed, you don't need a registration, you don't need license to drive it. And that's okay, fine. Then I said, I have 2 bikes at home. I don't mind giving them for retrofitting. Not motorbikes, but bicycles. Would you like to do that? They said, yeah, we can do that. That will cost me this 10,000 or something. And I said, I want a bike that would charge the battery as I'm pedaling. Okay, I mean, it's not going to charge 100% because I'm not going to power it so much. But if I'm going on a ride for, let's say, 100 kilometers, just for time, you know, just to have fun. I have a vacation day, I want to be out there, I pack my bag for lunch, sandwiches, whatever. And I want to go on a 100 kilometer ride, 51 right, come back. I'm not going to pedal all the way, I just want to be out there on a bike. So whenever there is power in the battery and I'm tired, it will power. And I can just ride, and other times I'll pedal and I'll power in. And I said, yeah, it needs regenerative batteries. I said, okay, put it together. I'll pay for it. But then it takes time, it takes effort to figure out how it will work in practice, where will it fit on the bike. All this has to be played with. You have to work on it, trial, error, go through that process. They didn't have that kind of time.
But it's already in the existing thing, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Using the solar panel, it will be regenerating the battery.
Yeah, using solar power.
And automatically generating by pedaling power.
Yeah, okay, there is, that's what they said. It's not like new technology they have to invent. It's already available, they just have to buy and fit it. That's what these guys are doing, right? They're not inventing anything new. They're just retrofitting an old bike with new technology. So, I'm like, okay, just try it. So that process of trial and error, it takes time. And they didn't have that time. They already graduated. They are trying to move on. So they just dropped the ball and they said, no, we can't do it. I don't have the time. And the team itself fell apart because one guy left. So that didn't work out. Then in that conversation, I asked, how is this going to work? How are you going to be able to sell as many bikes? There was another team that showed up, and I said, I suggested, why don't you think of retrofitting these bicycles and give them out for rent on campus here? Our campus is all up and down hills, right? We could all use occasionally a bicycle to just quickly run to some register office or principal's office and get some paperwork done and get back. For what might take half an hour, the walking back and forth will take another half an hour or more, and we'll be tired. We'll want to take a break and chat with a friend, whatever. It will take longer. If we have a rental bike, we know we're on the clock, we have to pay rent. We'll get it done faster and come back, right? People will rent, even if it is for 10 rupees, 15, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, whatever. People will rent per hour. It's useful, let's do that. But they didn't pursue it because it takes investment, time, effort to do it. That persistence is the main challenge we have. Coming to your point, why would anybody buy this rickety old bike that is going to fall apart any time? Just a second, let me finish my thought. So, if we take old, broken or unregistered is what you said, right? Deregistered vehicles, there's a lot of them. There's like millions of them, right, across the country. You take them and put them in a manufacturing plant to make them look nice and not broken, and everything is welded again and everything is. So this is iron, a lot of scrap iron frames that are already built. You have to figure out how to fit these new technology pieces, like battery and motor and all that, into that, right? That's what they're trying to do. If we produce it in bulk, the cost will go down and they'll look nice if you paint them nice. At the scale, you will make money. If you're doing 1, 2, 3, it's not going to work out. You have to scale it up. But to scale up is the last step, right? That is when you get into the market and trying to figure out how to serve the market and meet the demand and make the money and what your margins are and all that will come. All that conversation will come at the end. Not when you're ideating and not when you're trying to build a prototype. So you have to have a business plan before you invest a lot of money to figure out if this is actually a viable idea. Is there a market for it? Can I sell it? You sure can. If you think of a farmer in a community somewhere, anywhere in the rural areas, this guy's village will be here and he's probably walking about 1 hour away to his field. every day in the morning and coming back in the evening, right? When there is season and he is working in the field, he goes, stays there all day and comes back. But off season, he has to occasionally go and check the field and come back, right? He could use an electric bicycle to go to the market or do some chores around. They go walking, many of them even now. It could be useful in that market. You can sell. You just have to bring the cost down, and for that you have to scale up. In volumes you can sell. If you can get there, then it is viable. All that scrap iron, what are we doing with it? We are recycling it and melting it into something new, right? So it is possible. It's possible, but we have to work through it. You have to.
So sorry for opposing the statement. So I just want to say a little bit. Like for example, we were considered robots as a very defended topic a few decades back. So it was not considered by any country or taking up the robots. Like it is not considered. Like, the robots cannot build up the next generations or make up the information. But at present, robots play a very major role. Like no innovation is said to be trashed or something. Everything has its own basis of importance. Like
True. That is true. I don't think that's what he was
That's not
saying.
related. I'm not questioning the acceptance of the customer mentality.
like you were saying that if there's no use of innovation of these products when like we cannot
I didn't say
invest.
innovation, it's the market side of things.
Yeah,
what I'm
there's
talking about.
just a little gap in communication. What you're saying is, we build this, they put in a lot of effort, they're getting a lot of money and exposure and awards and all that. But if you or I were to buy that bike, it's coming from scrap and you don't know if the handlebar will fall off or the wheel will go off, or why would I buy something like that? And it doesn't look new. You want to get a new bike, right? I had the same exact thought when these guys brought it and 30,000 rupees up. And then I quickly checked how much is the new electric bike if I had to buy it. At that time it was 1.2 lakhs with all the discounts. This was a few months ago. Recently they took the discount. Second hand, I didn't even think of that. But so I was saying I'm paying 30,000 rupees. So like for example, bicycle. They said 10,000 rupees to refit my old bicycle with an electric motor. The bike that I have, I bought it for 13,000. If I go to Decathlon and buy a new bike, it's going to be around 10,000. A good decent bike that'll last me at least 5-6 years. So what am I gaining by paying these guys 10,000 rupees to retrofit an old bike with new technology that is still in testing mode? So that is a normal thought. It's not. I wanted to support them and see where they can go with it. As an investor, I wanted to do that. But as a consumer, I wouldn't want to do that. And if I am thinking that way, imagine you, like as a student, would you want to put in 10,000 rupees to buy something like that? Although it's all with good intentions. As an innovator, this team was still in the beginning stages. They were trying to figure out how to do this, and they knew they could technically do it. Then we were trying to push them to register a company and put in some effort, and investment is okay, we can put in the investment out of our pockets. Ravi and I were talking about it as an investors. Like it's okay, you guys are interested, you have skill, you want to put in the time and effort, we'll put the money. We'll see where this goes. But they were not ready to do that because it is hard work and it is risky. Risky in the sense it's career, right? Everybody is now thinking, you in your age, at your age, what do you think? If I don't get a job, what is my family going to say? Right? That is the mindset we're trying to get over. It's like entrepreneurship is a viable option as a career. To make it viable, you need to plan it. You can't start thinking I want to be an entrepreneur at the end of the 4th year or at the end of your last year of college. Then by the time you actually get into a possible position of being an entrepreneur, it'll be another 2-3 years. Right? Until then your family is going to constantly talk. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're wasting your life. You're wasting your life. You're truly not wasting your life, but that's what they see. So that is a big barrier we all have. So coming back to that, what I heard you say is the consumer's perspective of, am I going to buy this or not? But yeah, so that persistence, I think I repeat this multiple times at different venues. Many people ask me, oh, you're asking me to present an idea on my idea. What if somebody copies it? I'm like, see, we are smart, but others are not fools. Everybody has the same idea. There are millions of people who have the same idea. Having the idea is not a challenge. Executing it is a huge challenge. Most of us, 99.9%, don't follow through. Persistence and execution is the bigger challenge. We all get ideas. So that is where most of these stop. So we'll see where this goes. It takes years of effort to really pursue.
Thank you, Sahil, for your innovation. I think, thank you, like whatever you speak about of your innovation, the way you are focused in creating your innovation with the skills that you have learned from your mentor, that you have said earlier, the patient plus persistence leads to possibility. And that
Yes,
is
sir.
how I think the innovation journey starts for
Yes,
everyone.
sir.
Thank you. So now I would like to invite Sandeep Vishnukarma, who is the founder of Stack Lab, game developer and AI enthusiastic, and his project name is Drishti, which is in smart aid for visually impaired people. And his domain is social good and healthcare and art. So over to you, Sandeep.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sandeep Vishnukarma. I have completed my graduation from Katharo College of Engineering. My idea was a Drishti, which is an AI assistant for visually impaired people. So I got this idea in my third year of engineering. At that time, me and my friend, we were planning about our final year project. So we got so many project ideas and we presented in front of our teachers, but all the ideas got rejected. It happened several times, like we used to go with the 3 to 4 ideas and then that idea got rejected. So after that, we decided to go with our HOD, like why this is happening every time, and told him about our idea. So he told us about like innovation. They told us that they want the innovation, not the recreation of any project. So that point got stuck in our brain. Now we are again started finding project ideas. But this time our main focus was a different. Like this time we are searching for an innovation. We started brainstorming on a problem statement. As you know, like if we know problem statement correctly, we can find solution easily. So understanding the problem is first priority. So after that, we selected our domain and healthcare and get ready for the project topic, which is Drishti. So here is the problem statement for Drishti. Globally, there are 2.2 billion people suffer for visually impairment, in which India counts 12 million. They can find difficult to interact with surroundings. There are many things they find difficult to use. After that, we come with the solution, our solution to build an AI assistant glass which can do object detection and have some recognition feature to provide user feedback via earphones. And second feature we think about is SOS mode. In case of emergency, the alert system will send the message to his family and parents. After this, we are done with the software part. We ready the software part of whole project, and we are going to start the assembly of project. But the pandemic happened, and I remember that day, 16 March was the last day of college. Everything got shut down. Lockdown happened, and academic was stopped. After 1 2 months, in month of May, we didn't stop there. We heard about one college who is organizing e-hardware hackathon. I think KC College of Engineering organizing the hardware hackathon. So we decided to participate in it and we showcase our B project in this hackathon. And me and my friend, we presented and we built
and we won the hackathon. In this hackathon, we get one more feedback from a judge who is judging our presentation. He suggested to add one more feature, which is text to speech API wala. After that, being our project mentor, Dipali Maste ma'am, had a word with us and told us about MSME and ISEL, what they do, what college provide you, and motivate us about the project to build this project as a product. So here is the point where we decided to build our project as a product. After that, when ma'am told us about AISSNS College of Pune, they are organizing a Atmanirbharta COVID-19 startup competition. So this is our first time we are participating in startup competition. Like there is a difference between project competition and startup competition. Project competition we have to submit our problem statement and solution. But in startup competition we have to submit business plan and market strategy and all. We didn't know about it. So we started learning from YouTube, Google, started and presented our idea in our startup competition and we got the second prize in it. And in this competition, we also get one more feedback to add a Google Assistant API in our product, so it will help to navigate user carefully. It was a great experience. That hack was learned more. We learned more about market strategy, canvas model, and it is totally different experience. After that, ma'am told us about NIC, National Innovation Contest, started and told me about that, like who is organizing, what benefits we are getting, the level of competition. So we had a word with them and we decided to increase our team members. Now we are a team of 8 people and started, like we divided the team as a technical team and the documentation part team. We will work on a business side and one team will, half of team will work on a technical side. Here is our team of 8 people. In this journey of NICT, we learned so many things like making a canvas model, market potential calculation, diamond model of business, boot camp and workshop. They are very good, helpful from them. Now we are, our team is ready to proceed. We are ready to put overseas in the market. In this entire journey is a project to prototype situation, which I thought I think so many things which is new for me. We learn something, never give up, because there is so many times our team gets distracted and we are just close to the project, like just close that, shut down everything, and back to the work and everything. So there is a wait and start, never give up at your project. Staying motivated as a team leader, it is very important to motivate also. Keep motivated to be a motivate and motivate your teammates also. In my case, I just showing them willingness quotes related to success and sending to the group so that they keep motivated. And last is feedback theory, which helped me a lot. Feedback theory is just keep participating in a hackathons and project competition. It will help us to make our product better because the feedbacks are very useful. They teach us so many things about that and add up our project. In the end, I thank to my mentor Dipali Masteman, ISL of Atharvada, and NIC. The NIC competition was an amazing learning curve for all of us. During the period, we learned about taking an idea from project to a market-ready product. We attended mentoring sessions and interacted with industry experts. The whole process made us realize the importance of teamwork and organization of work, scheduling in order to meet deadlines. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Any thoughts?
Not actually tell about the product totally, but he was just telling the features of it,
Using the products.
but not tell about what the product
some glasses. He's talking about a product with glasses and he assists them to do various things. Seemed like an interesting thing to do, but I don't know how far he was successful. I couldn't tell how far he was.
How much would be like, how much time it would take to detect them, verify the people, what will be the response time?
Yeah, we don't know the details of the product, right?
Like even with glass, I saw something like that. Some of the universities in Nepal also have made like the students. They had made glass, policy glass, in which they had planted a camera that is object detection techniques. Yes. So what will be the response time? If something comes directly, the response time is there.
Right, the reflex action should work, right?
How much time it takes to notify the land, like who is waiting.
Right. They will defend themselves from the noise coming.
And then Neuralink is coming. Elon Musk created.
Telepathy.
It's the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
You can see everything.
Neuralink is about like connecting computers with the brain.
Yes. You can actually look at those eyes and all.
Is it functional now? Like, is it?
It's still not.
It's just a concept.
Human trials have started.
Doing the right to human rights and stuff. Like, that is human rights something. That is also right. You can't operate on a human being something.
Right, there's a whole lot of IRB process that they have to go through, Institutional Review Board. I don't know if you know any of that. If there is medical intervention or even social intervention. This is World War II, World War I and World War II.
People were operating on dead bodies to make it alive.
Make it alive. No, cadavers are still used in medical colleges. Dead bodies are still brought from the morgue to teach medical students. That is still a common practice. But there were instances until recently, like 1950s, 1940s. World War II prisoners of war were taken by different countries and were experimented on. Russia did that, Germany did that, and in many places in the US it happened. There were lots of countries that did this, medical experiments on, like human beings, to see how they react or how they respond. Not just for fun, but to test. But that's not okay. You can't just, without informing the person who is without their knowledge, you can't experiment on them. There were a lot of international cases that happened and they came up with a set of rules. There were a lot of people who died because of that.
But they did not actually show it in the
Right.
They put it.
Right. If you're interested in something like this, if you want to know more, history of IRB, just Google that and you'll find out a lot of it. History of Institutional Review Board. IRBs are common in US universities. In India, we don't call them IRBs. We call them medical councils or something like that. But they only exist in medical cases here. In the US, it's also social cases. Like for example, I was a social scientist. When I had to do a survey of a population, let's say I wanted to do a survey of all the students here, asking them about different preferences, let's say. Okay, their health preferences or their food, whatever preferences. If I want to do a survey, I have to get an approval from the IRB saying I'm not going to use this opportunity to do the survey for some other, nefarious purposes, collecting your data and doing something silly about it. I have to assure them, and I have to assure them that I'm only surveying you upon your consent. You're doing this voluntarily. I'm not coercing you to do it. But sometimes if I'm doing a research study and I want people to respond and you don't want to spend your time responding to my survey, I can give you an incentive, right? I'll say, okay, every time you answer this survey, or everyone who answers this survey gets 100 rupees. It only takes you 10 minutes. Most people will say, okay, fine, 10 minutes, I'm getting 100 rupees, sure, no problem, I'll answer. But if I'm doing that, I have to assure the IRB that I'm doing this only to increase the response rate. I'm not bribing anybody to give me socially desirable answers, right? If let's say I want to know the sexual preferences of everybody on campus, all the students. Now somebody who's gay, they don't want to reveal that because it's socially not acceptable. People will not accept that. So if I'm saying, okay, if you answer my survey about your sexual preferences, and I'll give you 100 rupees. 100 rupees is not incentive enough for them to be truthful, right? If I say I'm going to give you 10,000 rupees if you answer this, now I'm bribing. The IRB is going to question that. It's like, why are you giving 10,000 rupees? Who's funding this thing? What is the purpose of this? Well, 10,000 rupees is a lot for a survey. This is not incentive anymore. This is a bribe. So there are questions that IRB will ask, and they're usually very, very strict. They won't let you take advantage of your access to the population just because you want to do a survey as a researcher. And there are lots of rules about what you do with the data once you collect it. Who protects it, who has that data, what happens if it leaks, who is responsible for it. All that is very clearly laid out. We don't have that kind of system in the universities here because most of our universities are not research universities and we don't have that kind of IRB system. For medical hospitals and research or medical colleges, whatever research they do, they have to go through a medical council, and I think Vizag has 2 or 3 of those medical councils. Okay? We can continue to watch the next one or the next one, but we can stop here because it's getting close to 4.
So I have a question. Everyone shares their successful journey during their innovation, but why anyone won't see their flaws or how to overcome them?
That's a good question. That's a good question. My answer for that would be, my guess would be, sometimes you just don't know your faults or you're blind to them because you got to this far, right? You went to a certain extent where everybody's looking at you and clapping, saying, wow, we made it this far. Then you're blindsided. You're like, okay, I made it, so I didn't. Everybody will talk about how hard it is to get that far.
They won't say how to overcome their flaws.
Because it's not easy to say. This is something that we spoke about last time we were here, 2 days ago. Reflection.
Yes.
We don't have this culture of reflection. It's like when you get that far, you don't look back and say, okay, what did I do right and what did I do wrong? We just don't do that because we're not taught to do that when we were growing up. Do you think back in your school days when you were a kid, growing up, did anybody ever tell you that at any point significant in your life, it's like, wow, 10th standard I've been. You've done 10th standard is a big milestone, right? It was for me at least. Right? In your age now, 10th standard is also still significant. You have to get through that. It's a public exam and percentage of marks is important. Right. So some of you, I mean most of you did very well in that 10th standard exam. It's a milestone. It was a big deal in the house, right? So everybody celebrated. But you didn't get 100% in everything, right? Sometimes you got 90%, 80%, 70%, somewhere in there. Do you remember pausing and thinking, why did I get only 70% in Hindi? You were happy about getting 95% in science. And you're focused on that, right? Am I right?
Yes.
That's how I was. Because we don't think about it. We're not taught to think about it. What did we do wrong? We are not given agency. That is a big problem with how we get socialized into the society. You don't do it because you want to do it. You do it because you're told to do it. You have to get through 10th class. So there's no question asked. Just get through 10th class. Why should I do it? Because I tell you to do it.
I think, sir, you said why you got 70% in the because of no interest, so we should not talk about that.
Exactly. Because it's painful to talk about our own flaws, so we don't talk about them. We just quietly just tuck them away.
I never thought about
That's
why
why
I got
exams
that.
also we take exams, right? In such exams, we
We
don't
don't care about the others, some people will be friends. Like I got this marks I got. Anyway, I learned
Right, you can stop it if you want. So we don't talk about them because like,